History Garden's AP World History Unit 1 Deep Dives. This is the podcast where we explore the events and innovations that shape the world. Today we're talking about one of the most transformative inventions in human history, gunpowder. Gunpowder changed everything. It reshaped warfare, altered global power dynamics, and even fueled significant scientific discoveries. But how did it develop, and what impact did it have on history? Stick with us as we journey through time, from ancient alchemists in China to the cannons of medieval Europe and beyond. Gunpowder's story begins in ancient China during the Tang Dynasty, around the 9th century CE. Chinese alchemists, in search of an elixir of immortality, mixed sulfur, charcoal, and potassium nitrate, also known as saltpeter. Instead of creating eternal life, they accidentally stumbled upon something far more explosive. By the 10th century, these early Chinese chemists realized that this mixture burned violently and produced powerful blasts. The first recorded mention of gunpowder comes from the Taoist text in 1044, describing formulas for various explosive compositions. Initially, gunpowder was used in fireworks and religious ceremonies, but it didn't take long before its potential for warfare became apparent. The Chinese were the first to weaponize gunpowder. By the Song Dynasty, 960 to 1279 CE, military engineers developed crude firearms like fire lances, essentially bamboo tubes filled with gunpowder and shrapnel. These evolved into early hand cannons, which laid the foundation for modern guns. During the Mongol invasion of the 13th century, the use of gunpowder-based weapons spread beyond China. The Mongols, known for their military innovations, helped carry gunpowder technology across Asia and into the Middle East and Europe. By the time the Islamic world and European powers got hold of gunpowder in the 13th and 14th century, it sparked a military revolution. The Ottomans, Mamluks, and European kingdoms all raced to develop bombs, cannons, and muskets, forever changing how wars were fought. Gunpowder didn't just change how battles were fought, it reshaped entire civilizations. In Europe, the introduction of gunpowder weapons in the 15th and 16th century led to the decline of medieval castles and knights. Once powerful stone fortresses, which had been nearly impenetrable for centuries, crumbled under cannon fire. This shift forced military architects to rethink fortifications, leading to star forts, low-angle defenses designed to absorb cannon blasts. Meanwhile, empires that mastered gunpowder warfare grew in power. The Ottoman Empire, for example, used massive cannons to breach the walls of Constantinople in 1453, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire. Similarly, in India, the Mughal Empire used gunpowder weapons to conquer vast territories. In Japan, the arrival of the Portuguese traders in 1543 introduced firearms to the samurai class. This led to a shift away from traditional sword combat and contributed to the unification of Japan under the powerful warlords like Oda Nobunaga. The period from the 15th to 18th centuries is sometimes called the Age of Gunpowder Empires, a time when states that effectively used gunpowder weapons dominated. Three major empires, the Ottomans, Safavids, and Mughals, rose to power through their superior artillery and firearm tactics. In Europe, nations like Spain, France, and Britain built massive gunpowder-fueled armies and navies, leading to colonial expansion. The rise of the gunpowder also led to global arms race. European nations competed to develop better guns, muskets, and cannons, eventually fueling imperialism. The conquest of the Americas and transatlantic slave trade and colonial rule by Africa and Asia were all in part made possible by the gunpowder firepower that gunpowder provided. Fast forward to the 19th and 20th century, and gunpowder had evolved even further. The Industrial Revolution led to the mass production of more powerful and reliable firearms. New chemical advancements in the 1800s led to the development of smokeless powder, which was more efficient than traditional black powder. This allowed for the creation of faster loading rifles, machine guns, and modern artillery. all of which played devastating roles in World War I and World War II. By the 20th century, gunpowder-based weapons had been largely replaced by even more powerful explosive, but its legacy remains. The principle of gunpowder chemistry paved the way for modern rocketry, space exploration, and even nuclear technology. So what's the big takeaway? Gunpowder changed the course of history. It revolutionized warfare, led to the rise and fall of empires, and reshaped global power structures. Without it, the modern world as we know it, militarily, politically, and scientifically, would be unrecognizable. Yet gunpowder's impact isn't just about war. It also fueled scientific progress, from chemical research to industrial innovations. And let's not forget, the same explosive powder that once brought down castles still lights up the skies with fireworks. Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know what historical invention we should cover next. Until next time, keep exploring the past. It helps us understand the future.